What's up, guys? The Lazy Goldmaker here, and we're back with a 30 days to a token challenge, but it's done. I'm finished. We can see the token is sitting right here. We can see the video, a beautiful video of me buying it for 50,700 gold. And now I'm down at 500 and pretty much no stock left over because I ended up selling everything. But yeah, let's dive in and see how it did. So we're going to look here at the Trade Skill Master graph. So we can see that I was making gold steadily. Well, the first like 4 or 5 days, I was reinvesting everything instantly, and my gold was just completely flat. And then eventually we started making gold while reinvesting, and then I made most of the last bit of gold over like 2 periods here and here. And that's obviously because we can see here that potions were one of my biggest money makers for this challenge that I used this time around. And this was around Wednesday, Thursday last week. This was Sunday, which are 2 of the most popular raiding periods. Like a lot of people raid just after the reset on EU, which is Wednesday and Thursday. And then a lot of people raid on Sundays. And I essentially did a huge restock into the days where I knew that people would be buying a lot of potions to sell it all when demand and the price hopefully would be high. That's why the graph looks like it does. Potions have been just great. Now, one thing to note here, which has sort of surprised me, is my sales number of 110,000, 111. This is surprisingly low. I expected I would need to get to like 250,000 because my average profit in the past for crafting has typically been around 20-30%. Now, obviously, I made about 43,000 gold profit here, and then I had 8,000 gold that I got from doing raw gold farm, from doing old raids, so that was some of the gold. But we're still looking at a massive average profit margin, 43,000 gold profit over a 66,000 gold spent on materials. It's just incredible. I've never had numbers this high, and that's kind of interesting. If we go into the market specifically, we can see that for potions, if we just scroll down here, you can just see potion sales. Obviously, we don't want the others. I've made 65,000 gold from potions. And if we go to expenses, we can see that I have bought herbs for about 39,000. So it's about 25,000 gold profit over 40,000 gold spent. So that's about 60-70% profit margin, which is really, really high for potions. Really high. Then we can do the same thing for my blacksmithing gear. So for the gear here, we can see that I've made about 24,000 gold on blacksmithing gear. And the expenditure for these has mostly been the bar, so it's mostly ghost iron and trillium. I spent 10,000. There's also a little bit of kyperite, but that's like a couple of hundred. I'd be surprised if it's more than a couple of hundred. Yeah, 600 gold. And this does include the stuff I spent buying all the recipes as well. That was this purchase to get the recipe. So that was also, I mean, on blacksmithing, I was more than doubling my gold. But to be fair, that does include masterwork weapons. I have sold 2 masterwork weapons, which you can't really mastercraft. You need the Spirits of Harmony. Yeah, now, obviously, volume has been the name of the game. I've sold 20,000 items. I've sold a ton of potions. 6,000 Vermin Spite, 6,000 Mogu Power, 6,000 Jade Serpent. I've spent a lot of time. A lot of the time on this challenge has been on the auction house, or rather in Ironforge, just posting stuff to the auction house, running to the mailbox, flying over to Tinkertown to buy more crystal vials and craft more potions. That has been what I've spent a lot of time doing after I got all the recipes for blacksmithing and got my Tiller's farm up and running, so I could have a Mote of Harmony economy. But yeah, as for time spent, I am right now, I've been idling a little bit since I finished, but I am at about 1 day, 15 hours. Yesterday, when I actually had enough gold to buy the token, but not enough time to record, I was at 1 day, 14 hours. So that means about 2.5, a little bit more than 2.5 hours per day on average is what I've spent over the last 14 days. to get the token. We have the numbers here as well, where I have my auction house value per day as well. And we can see, obviously, I did not restock yesterday because I hit 51,000 and I was just, I'm done. We can see my auction house value was rising very rapidly the first couple of days as I was adding more items, and then it was big value here. We can see my huge restock before Wednesday, and then obviously I sold it all off and I was really low. Then I was just buying herbs and doing like buying and crafting to build up for Sunday, and then I sold everything on Sunday and got the last bit to get me over the top essentially. So that was the things. Now I did stop scaling as well at the end. I just stopped because I realized I would hit the token, and since I'm just doing this challenge to show that it's possible and show how you can get the token in 30 days, even starting like from a normal starting position for any level 90. If I wasn't already rich on this realm, then I would have kept going for a while longer. You should not buy a token when you don't have any stock left over. I now have like a little bit of blacksmithing gear and like 500 gold to my name, so I'm almost starting from scratch. If you have 10,000 gold, then you can do a lot more efficient restocking of alchemy and all of the markets that I've been doing for this challenge. It makes it a lot easier, and obviously you can even see that in the numbers, right? When I had a little bit of gold, my auction house value was really low. My sales were not that high. So my daily sales were like 5,000 gold, and then suddenly we're doing 10,000 gold in sales on a day, or even 14,000 on the last one. So if you have more gold, then you can have a lot more stuff on the auction house and just make a lot more gold as well. So you want to keep there. I'm also planning a video specifically on the potion swings, because obviously these like one-off days where I made a lot of gold were very interesting, a very important thing to note. And also potion and herb prices have been absolutely crazy variable. They've varied a lot more than I thought they could. Now Fool's Cap is cheap. Fool's Cap has varied between 2 gold and even 4 gold. Often we can see here there isn't that much volume. This is enough for like a couple of thousand potions, which I could sell. Like 3,000 potions a week on average, and can easily move like 500 to 1,000 potions on a big raiding day. Silkweed and some of the other herbs as well has varied a lot. Silkweed was like 4 gold yesterday, 3.5. Now it's down to 133. But there's not that much volume. Like if I buy 300 herbs, we're suddenly up at 2.5 gold again. So prices have varied a lot, and the same has been true for the potions. But in general, obviously the potions have been extremely profitable with what my numbers are. But the prices have been a lot more volatile than I expected. So these mega servers, definitely not stable prices, and there's a lot of things you can take advantage on that, and we'll go more into the specifics of that in another video, because I think this one is nearing where I want to end. So that's the challenge. That's what I did. 30 days to a token, using mostly alchemy and blacksmithing, just because those were the professions I had on this character. Alchemy was my biggest profit, but blacksmithing was also really good, particularly once I got the Tiller's farm up and running and I could do the masterwork weapons. And then I sprinkled in a little bit of raw gold farming, doing some old raids, which did help out, but obviously it wasn't necessary, because if I just kept going, I could have easily made the 8,000 gold in and still be fine within the 30-day time limit, because I did get enough gold yesterday, which was day 14. Today is day 15. I started on a Monday and I end on the Monday 2 weeks after. So hopefully you learned something. If you have some questions about what I did or how you can apply this to whatever professions you have, then let me know in the comments. And obviously if you want to do this yourself, play the game for free, then you should have every profession. Get your alts up to 85. There's a lot of stuff to take advantage of. All of the alchemy stuff I've done on this character can be done on a level 80. Because you don't need to go to Pandaria at all to do potion mastery, mass crafting of potions. So yeah, there's just a lot of scope to utilize professions to play this game for free. Thanks for watching.